Across various continents, countries, and cultures, dragons are revered creatures with a fame that precedes them. Depending on the culture and people, they are either revered as being benevolent creatures that should be worshipped, or as malevolent creatures whose presence portends evil. If they existed in just folklores, they could easily have been dismissed as figments of human imagination. But dragons seem to be more than just figments of people's imagination, since they are prevalent in several Oriental religions. In some countries, such as China, dragons are so important to the extent that a virtuous man is likened to a dragon, since dragons are seen as symbols of everything good and perfect. In fact, the popularity of dragons contributed to the global acceptance of a popular TV series titled Game of Thrones, which depicted two fascinating types of fire-breathing and ice-breathing dragons. Other movies like Merlin, The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, Aragon, and Harry Potter thrived because they fascinated their fans with various forms of dragons. For such a creature that exists in almost every facet of human existence, including cultures, religions, worldviews, and literatures, there must be something more to it than mere tales, right? It is only natural to be curious if they really existed, and if, perhaps, there could still be some alive today. Did dragons really exist? Yes, dragons did exist, and they still exist up until today, though they are endangered according to IUCN. But before you go out looking for one, we are talking about the existence of the Komodo dragon and Dracovolans, also known as flying dragons. And like the dragons we've considered in our myths, Dracovolans also have colorful wings, lay eggs, and are carnivores. But so far, there is none that can be seen breathing fire. Plus, their maximum length is just about 9 inches, or 23 centimeters. So, did the dragons of ancient myths and folklores exist? No, they did not. They were simply myths. However, the people who believed in them had a basis for doing so due to several factors which we have already discussed in findings. In an age where science was non-existent, fossils of dinosaurs would surely fuel beliefs in dragons. Other factors included exaggerated sightings of crocodiles, snakes, and lizards like the Indonesian Komodo dragon. There have been quite a lot of archaeological findings which some often confuse to be that of a dragon, especially in Asia and Europe. Before you get too excited, however, remember that, as discussed earlier, dragons did not exist. The first on our list is the skull and bones of Dracoraptor, which lived around 200 million years ago in Wales. Well, that shouldn't be surprising, since Wales' national flag has the emblem of a red dragon. But it is more of a Jurassic dinosaur than the typical Wales dragon insignia. Another peculiar fossil that has been unearthed is that of an incredible 50-foot, reported by CNN to have been discovered in 2006 in Xizang. The long-necked dinosaur named Xizanglong lived around 160 million years ago. We've saved the best for last. The fossil finding, which seems most impressive, is a gigantic pterosaur, which scientists call Quetzalcoatlus. It is reported to have a wingspan of 40 feet, or 12 meters, and could possibly fly up to 12,000 miles non-stop. That's about 20,000 kilometers. But then, all these findings are fossils of other kinds of animals and do not establish the existence of dragons. The origin of dragon mythologies across the globe and ages cannot be pinpointed to have emanated from a specific location or age. One thing that is clear, however, is that they existed as far back as among the ancient Mesopotamians. The mythologies of dragons are so numerous, hence, we will be considering just a few of the most popular ones. The English word dragon has its root in the Greek word drakon, meaning huge serpent. Greek dragon mythology often depicts its dragons as being enormous serpents with terrifying looks and features. They are often depicted as guardians of sacred springs, objects, groves, wealth, and other locations. Chinese mythology also depicts dragons as being huge reptiles. They can fly but have no wings and do not breathe fire. There is no need of breathing fire since, in China, dragons are revered and even worshipped for their benevolence, exceptional wisdom, magical powers of healing, and longevity. It symbolizes divinity, power, greatness, and wealth, which is why Chinese emperors wear robes, sit on thrones, and use objects made in the motif of dragons. The English mythology is markedly different from that of the Chinese or Eastern mythology. That is because the English depict their dragons as malevolent, greedy hoarders of treasure having huge wings with which they can fly at incredible speed over great distance. And, of course, they do breathe fire. In our examination of 3 of the world's most popular dragon mythologies, we have already hinted at some of the types of dragons there are across the globe. Classification of dragons into types is dependent on the criteria with which you intend classifying them. They could broadly be classified as Eastern and Western, or based on their physiological appearance, body parts, colors, nesting places, and/or nationality. Some people simply decide to classify them as good, evil, and a mixture of both. For the sake of brevity and a huge range of coverage, we shall be using national classification. Please note that there may be more than one type of dragon among a people or nation. In such cases, the most popular of these would be our choice. The most powerful Chinese dragon is the horned dragon called Lung. It is made of parts from a fish, horns of a stag, talons like an eagle, and reptilian. Influenced by Chinese dragon mythology, the chief Japanese dragon is called Yu, with benevolent characteristics as well, though possessive of only 3 limbs. Still within the Asian continent, the principal Indian dragon is called Naga, usually depicted as having no limbs or arms, but could have several cobra heads. In the European continent, Welsh dragon Vraig Gog is always red as depicted on their flag. It is symbolic, prophesying their victory and dominance over the Saxons. The English dragon, Wyvern, is quite aggressive, having 2 limbs and wings. They became popular war ensigns initiated by Uther Pendragon. Despite the fact that dragons did not really exist, it is still puzzling how several cultures across different continents could have independently developed myths about these fascinating beings. To some, they are to be revered and worshipped for their benevolence. For others, they are to be feared and, if possible, killed for their malevolence. Recent television series have continued to awe us with just how wonderful it would be if these creatures did exist. But who knows, they may exist in another realm. Join us again another time as we discuss the facts and findings of other mythological creatures. If you're interested in more exciting videos about mythological creatures, then click on this playlist to watch all related videos. You can also subscribe to this channel if you don't want to miss any new videos.